Hey, you true believers. Chris Mack coming at you with a 2-pack that I found and I absolutely had to have in my collection. Today we're going over the McFarlane Toys Spawn's Universe Sam and Twitch Deluxe 2-pack action figure set. And these guys have always been some of my favorite characters from the Spawn comics. And you can see Sam and Twitch here, looking great, Spawn logo, names there, and I just love this kind of blood red that we have on the top, bottom, all that good stuff there, and then that green background just makes it look yummy. Come around to the side, get this cool City of New York police thing, and then all that good stuff. Spawn there, round to the back, and I love this artwork from the Sam and Twitch solo series. Just a very memorable cover. Come back around this way, and I hate ordering online sometimes. Just you get that same cool piece of artwork. City of New York Police, and I love that they put Spawn right in the middle of the badge. That's good stuff there. Nothing really on the bottom. Now, lastly, before we jump into these figures, if you guys do want to pick this up at the time of this recording, you can do so at Big Bad Toy Store and Amazon. But as I always say, please, first and foremost, support your local comic shop and see if they have it in first. And here's New York's finest out of the packaging. And as you can see, once you get Sam and Twitch out of their box, start posing them around after, of course, you warm them up, they look fantastic. Very well rendered, attention to detail, and of course, got the mighty police guns. Oh, no guns! So bad! I'm just kidding. But look at this, guys. So nicely sculpted and painted, and attention to detail. It makes you not want to say no. It's like, just shut up and take my money type situation. So with that said, let's get Sam and Twitch off the spinner and see what else they have to offer. The first appearance of Sam and Twitch was Spawn #1 from May 1992, and they were created by Todd McFarlane. Detective Sam Burke is the brawn of the two. He's a large, strong-headed, gruff individual, and he's usually the one to take action against any type of villain that they encounter. And though he's been accused of police brutality, the charges have never stuck, and takes pride in being one of the few honest cops on the force. Now, Maximilian Stephen Percival Twitch Williams III, that's fancy, is more reasonable and, more than his larger partner, and is the brains of the two. He's a shooting prodigy. Twitch makes up for his small size with his ability to handle twin pistols with extreme accuracy and efficiency. And he often figures out and solves the cases and predicaments, as where, Sam's the drive and conviction when he sees the two through whatever trouble may come up. And also, Twitch is reserved and soft-spoken, though extremely passionate and proud of his job, as well as we just said a moment ago, an expert marksman. The duo were originally introduced in the Spawn series as, backup characters to the larger storyline, and they first were at odds with Spawn, but eventually they came to form a mutual respect, and they would often seek help from the two. So you got Spawn being Batman, and we got our own James Gordon and Harvey Bullock here, so to speak. They did have their own comic series, but sadly it was canceled in 2003 due to late releases. There was an interview I saw where McFarlane stated that when he uses Sam and Twitch, the stories are detective thrillers, and he tries to make it as non-superhero as possible, which is great, because then you get that whole detective noir about the stories. Now, as for the figures themselves, as I just said a minute ago, if you're not a Spawn fan, I could see Sam being a great stand-in figure for Harvey Bullock. And then, as I just said, it made me laugh. Twitch working as a lanky Commissioner Gordon to put up against your Batman figures. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about the accessories. Both characters come with a stand. Again, if you're going to put them on a shelf, these are always great to have. And I like that when McFarlane releases each individual one, like Borderlands, the Multiverse, or Spawn, he always makes sure to designate what's what. So that's always a welcome addition there. And then I think this is supposed to come with Sam. Love this. I don't know if that's supposed to be like it's a machine gun, obviously, but it looks like a more modernized version of a Tommy gun. I wish there was some more gunmetal gray or just some color in and of itself added, because just here by itself, this black just kind of kills it. Like, you know, I don't know, maybe some more paint overall. Now, the other thing that kills me is both these characters do not come with any additional hands. So trying to get this in Sam's hand, he only comes with one gun hand and a closed fist, which I absolutely hate when we get this. It's like, you give us this gun that's a two-handed machine gun, and you give us one open hand and a closed hand. What were you thinking? And then to add insult to injury, you try to put this in Sam's hand, and it is a mother bear. That's about as far as you can get it. You cannot even get the finger in the trigger guard. And then because he's so big, even if he did have another open hand, it's like, forget about trying to put that here. So I bet you 10-1 this is supposed to be used with Twitch, so that is just a missed opportunity. So in a sense, it just kind of makes it useless. That's why I say stop giving us one closed fist and one open hand, because it makes me want to give you all that happy little finger there in the middle when we keep getting this stuff. Oh. All right, I'm better now. And then we come with the twin pistols of the Shooting Prodigy Twitch. And again, I wish there was a little bit of a black wash on these, but that silver just looks absolutely gorgeous. And I love that they have that long-ass barrel. So I don't know if these are supposed to be like Colt 45s, but here's the thing. It can't be, because they're like 6-shooters. Because they got the 6-shooter chamber, so that can't be a 45. So I don't know. I'm not a huge munitions expert. So, you know, feel free to make fun of me down in the comments and enlighten me a little bit, because I'm always willing to learn. But yeah, these look great in Twitch's hand. So you just kind of bloop. Getting him in his hand's a bit of a bitch. But once you get that finger trigger lined up, I mean, look at that. Boom. Yummy. Now for paint apps, what I love on both figures is they kind of have this muted look, which really adds to the color palette of what the original Spawn comics had. And you can see that he's green and brown, but it just has that very faded look to it. And the fact, too, that, you know, his uniform doesn't look all that clean. He's got gunk all over his coat to show that he's just a normal, you know, street-beating city detective. And then just the solemn look, and then of course just the white lenses, which I always liked in the comics, that they always exaggerated his lenses with some sort of brightness. It just helped with the comic book and very much that noir look to it. Pants look good. Love the elongated pointed toes. Just adds to the character that is Twitch. The sideways, you know, not really done well tie shows that he's overworked, underpaid, all that good stuff there. He does have double jointed elbows. Arm can come out like that, bicep swivel, 360. Thankfully the coat's not in the way. Head goes down, head goes up, head goes to the side, and you get some play, so you get a nice range there. He does twist at the solar plex and at the waist, so you get a good set there. Can go down that far. Thankfully the coat does not add a whole lot of hindrance there. He does swivel very well, which I appreciate. Legs go out 90 degrees forward. They have the soft butt flap. Coat does not hinder, so you can get a good range backwards. Double jointed knees, so whoop-ah there. Foot goes up, foot goes down. Pivot, toe pivot. Oops, got that leg in the way, but yeah. Pivot, pivot, swivel, toe pivot. So Twitch has great range of articulation because he's the smaller of the two. So thankfully, you know, his hands, the ball joints, thankfully are not as predominant on this figure. It's there, but it's not ugly like, say, on that Suicide Squad Harley where, oh, it just looked like her wrist had something very medically going wrong with her. Now, as for Sam, one thing that I'm going to point out real quick about him, and I'm thankful that a lot of these McFarlane figures on the multiverse, and I'm noticing here on the Spawn Universe side, is you know, you have to be careful. Warm these figures up, because when I first pulled them out of the packaging, both of them were stiff as boards. But what I'm trying to get at is I was working on, what's his name? Sam's waist, and his torso popped off, and I was like, holy crap. It scared me. But it was like the King Shark Build-A-Figure away from the Suicide Squad. It was just a ball joint, plugged it back in, and here we are, back to normal. So I was like, oh, thank God. That freaked me out. I thought I'd have to try to go hunt down another set of this, which is not super, super easy. His head can go down that much. Can't really go back that much, and it's not even because of the lapel here. It just, that's it there. You can get him to turn that much. I think it's because he has such a big fat head. Can turn the head that much, and he has a little bit of play side to side, so you can get a little bit of motion. Arms spin this way, arms spin that way, and more of a 90-degree elbow. And then he has that interesting hinge here on the wrist. So again, warm these up. This guy would not spin at first, and that's how I busted my first grifter. I was like, crap. So wrist that way, so you're kind of limited on which way that's going to go. Now, as I was talking about the torso, he can spin like that. Oh, see, and there it goes again. Let's just plug him back in. So you have to be careful, but thankfully there's forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. The legs, because his legs are smaller, can go out that much. Can kind of do that. Can kind of go back that way. And 90 degrees that way. And I understand, because he's a bigger figure. It's frustrating, yes. Foot that way, joint, toe. So I just wish there was a way with all the different lines that we could get some better articulation on these bigger figures, because, man, it's a pain in the butt with the articulation. But as paint apps, moving on, I like how they just kind of gave him that really dirty, gritty look to his face there. Let me try to turn the light down just a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But I mean, look at that. Shows that he's very much a beaten and worn cop. And of course he has that big grimace, the dark 5 o'clock shadow eyes. I hate that this gun is here and there's nothing you can do with it. I wish that instead they would have let you be able to put a gun there, because it coat of course doesn't come off. Damn it. I mean, it flares out there, but you can't pull it out of the chest. And I'm like, of course not. But still, it looks good that way. The coat in and of itself, even though it's soft plastic, looks like a leather jacket. Looks really good on him. Belt looks good. Pants look like a regular detective pants. And, of course, black shoes. Got that nice street-beating cop look, just like Twitch has. And that's what I like, is these are street-level characters. So they're not supposed to look clean and heroic. They're supposed to be out there in the grit of everyday life. And it shows with these characters. So articulation and paint apps, I'm happy, and that's what really drew me to this set when I first saw it on the shelf. Now here's Sam and Twitch next to some of the other figures that are Spawn Universe and Mortal Kombat. I still say that this Shadow of Spawn is probably my top Spawn thus far, until they release one that's more comic accurate from the wave. But then of course Mr. Beefy here, that we had an absolutely delightful time with during Halloween. I love this figure. He is a pain in the butt to keep balanced from time to time, but damn, that is such a great representation of the modern Violator. This Spawn stands somewhere between 7 inches. From all the way up to this doohickey up here, he is 9.5 inches tall. Sam here is, or Sam, yeah, Sam, is 6.5, I believe, and then Twitch, I believe, is 6. So you get a nice range of size. And these are going to look great when you have a Spawn shelf setup, or if you're going to do action figure photography. All of these awesome figures are going to scale well, and anytime you put him up, anytime, and you guys have seen a lot of the ways that I've used him with my figure photography, he's just going to look great for whatever setup you have planned. Let me know what you guys think of all of these figures down in the comments. With McFarlane doing the Spawns universe and releasing a lot of classic figures, I definitely agree that Sam and Twitch deserved their time to shine. They were always my most favorite ancillary characters in the books, and I'm sad that their solo series got, canceled throughout the years, but at least they were always fan favorites. Now for the figures and then themselves, I wish that Sam was a little more articulated. Being a bigger, beefier guy after we just saw the armored Batman, there's much to be desired, but nonetheless, you warm both of them up and you're going to get at least a decent range, especially on Twitch. And I'm also thankful that when the McFarlane figures pop apart, you can put them back together for the most part like a Build-A-Figure like we saw just a moment ago. So I don't have a whole lot of gripes. I wish that Sam came with another open hand, because having this closed hand and the open hand business, it's just so damn frustrating. It's just like, give us all the hands like Mafex gives us, and we'll just call it a day. But other than that, I can't complain too much. The guns look great, and I know that I harp like, oh my god, guns, but that whole DC band just really chaps my hide. With that said, if you guys have enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop and see if they have this set in stock. If not, check out the places that we mentioned at the beginning of the review. Speaking of which, if you've enjoyed the review, guys, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you won't mind hitting that fancy little NYPD badge next to subscribe, that way we continue to upload content, you guys will get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with you all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below, or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, photo slideshow coming up next. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and I hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.